Hi there. It's another fantastic episode of Sport Exchange, your one-stop shop for sports business issues. And I'm welcoming you again. Gidi Olano is my name. I'm your regular host, and it's my pleasure to bring this wonderful edition. On today's show, we'll be looking at sports marketing and management. Yeah, that will be in the dugout segment, as well as looking at the model of Nigerian athlete sponsorship as we approach the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So these are some of the things we'll be looking at, as well as giving you some of the stories making rounds as far as sports business is concerned. This you should count on us to deliver. I'm going on a short break, and when we come back with the dugout segment where my professional guest is standing by.
Fantastically finished.
Yes, welcome back. It's still Sport Exchange, and we are looking at sports marketing and management on the show, and we are looking at how to develop human capacity by improving the sports business landscape in Nigeria. And one of those who are making this happen, yes, will be talking to me on the show today. He's joining me via Skype, and he's all the way from somewhere in Lagos. And it's my pleasure to welcome sports journalist Deji Omotoyinbo. Deji, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Judy. Good to be here.
All right. Sorry to pull you out of your busy schedule, but today we want to talk about, how to develop human capacity as far as the sports business landscape is concerned in Nigeria. And I know that you're passionate about this. We've seen you move from the core sports media business to training people in the line of sports business. And I must commend your affiliation with the Lagos Business School as well as the La Liga Business School, where we've seen you transform from being a student to being a member of the faculty. And let's talk about how this particular program, you are, I must say that you are the kind of the personality that can be used as an example. You've gone through the school, and right now you are also a member of the faculty. And Nigeria is long overdue for, proper orientation of how massive Nigeria stands to gain as far as sports business is concerned. Looking at this program, what would you say this can do for us in the industry?
Well, thank you, Jide, for having me. The Sports Business Management Program of the Lagos Business School, in collaboration with the La Liga Business School, was set up primarily to improve competencies in the sports business ecosystem. Because we have a lot of potential, a lot of opportunities in the sports business ecosystem in Nigeria, but apparently we didn't have enough capacity and enough competence in terms of training and ability to achieve the fullest potential of the sports business. So a prestigious organization like Lagos Business School looked at it and felt that we had to be able to provide a platform where you can earn these competencies or learn these competencies, as the case may be, if indeed you're in that business ecosystem. The feeling was also that instead of making it just a faculty affair, as in lecturers who are not involved on the field, so to speak, they decided to bring some of us in who actually earned our living from the sports ecosystem. So people like Dr. Larry, Damoji of Brilla Media have been in on this since the start in 2018. We help them with promotions. We help with some of the faculty work, panel sessions, even when you're deciding the topics and the relevant subjects to teach. So it was important that people who came for this training meet with people like us who are involved in the sports business ecosystem, so they can learn from us. We can share our experiences. We can let them know how it is, the good things, the bad things, and then they can also learn the deep theoretical aspect from a silent mix of theory and experience, and I think it's very, very good for the training.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about the need to really. Of course, you are also part of those who are driving sports policy for the country. And how apt is this kind of program? Trying to fit in into a time where Nigeria is driving a sport policy.
Well, you see, the thing with Nigeria is that with the population that we have, with the interest level that we have in sports, with the participation level and commercial possibilities, the sports business, the sports industry should really be thriving. But you and I know that's not the case. So that's why we felt that we need to put structures in place. We need to learn those competencies. We need to proper global sports practice, and part of this training also involves going to Spain. We're in Spain in 2019, where an immersive one-week training of how the La Liga does its business, how the La Liga was able to turn from a debt reading profile in 2013 to the second biggest broadcast earner, only behind Premier League in 2019. So, the opportunities are there. But we're not doing the right things, and we need to learn the competence. We don't want to assume that everybody knows what to do, So that is why this has been put together. And you'll be surprised that the three that has taken place so far, if I'm not mistaken, over 200 professionals have come for the training for the past 3 years. We didn't hold it last year because of COVID, of course. And then about 12 or 13 of us went to Spain for the La Liga one-week immersive training in November of 2019, I think it was. So the important thing is that if you're involved in this ecosystem, you have people who have come for the training who want to get into sports and felt I needed to be trained before I got into sports. So that's what it's all about, and that's why it's very, very important for anybody in the sports ecosystem. And also, there is always government on the inside. Like this one we held recently, Shola Ipeku, Lagos State, Executive Chairman, Lagos State Sports Commission, was one of the faculty members. We always try and talk about it.
All right, let's talk about, of course, part of the, you've said it that you've seen well over 200 people graduate or pass through this particular program. And one would have expected that there should be a way where in terms of research and documentation, there should be a way where some of the knowledge that these people have gained in terms of maybe kind of research work that will contribute to knowledge. Because I have a feeling, it's not a feeling. I know that there are times that we have problem of data, problem of information on what obtains in the modern world of sports business. What is the plan to make this happen?
Part of the training is to expose and explore opportunities in the sports business sector. You just mentioned something. Data mining for sports is a huge business that can be explored. So part of the training is also to expose people to those gray areas where there is a vacuum and where you can exploit. And we found situations where people are like, oh, so I can make money from this, I can make money from that, and they've tried to explore that. In terms of research and, like you said, it's a training that is paid for, and people come in there to acquire the knowledge and use that knowledge personally and for their own businesses or for their own opportunities. So it's like if you really, I mean, knowledge is not cheap. Knowledge is expensive. That's the truth. If you're really in the sports business world and you want to learn more, you have to invest in yourself, pay money, attend the training, and gain that knowledge that is available there. Then it's not likely the knowledge will be put out there for everybody, because there's no one size fits all solution. And all of us are involved in various aspects of the sports business. So you come in there, you learn your competencies, you develop it for your own good, for your own possibilities, and that's the way it goes. But for those who have attended it, they have access to all the papers, they have access to all the lectures and all the facilities available for them to develop their businesses. So in a nutshell, is a platform that is there. So if you're willing to acquire knowledge for your sports business, you know that you have to invest and go there and learn what you can learn to develop yourself. Because like I said, I mean, knowledge is not cheap. It's as simple as that.
Okay, all right. I'm aware you guys had this year, of course, no thanks to COVID, the program couldn't hold last year. But this year, how impressive was the turnout in terms of the enthusiasm from those who came to learn?
It was a lower number, it must be said, but that's also due to COVID. Some people were not there physically. There were some people who joined online, and there were some who couldn't come because of certain restrictions and all of that. But the important thing is that it's ongoing. It's expanded from 2 days to 3 days. It's expanded from a Nigerian-only affair to, like I told you, in 2019, there's a second leg that takes place in Spain for those who are interested. So the scope is being widened. The Lagos Business School is going to have an MBA dedicated. They're developing curriculum for an MBA degree dedicated for sports business management. So the scope is widening, the horizon is broadening, and it's only be good for those of us in the sports business.
All right, Deji, we'll still have questions to ask you, but I just want to deviate to you are a sports broadcast journalist, a sport broadcast journalist, and let's look. I want to ask you this question. You know, Deji, we don't have an all sports sports channel in Nigeria. I mean, Nigerian-owned all sports channel. And when you look at other countries on the continent, we don't. And the media, sport media, is also one of the ways, especially sport broadcasts, that can magnify whatever we are doing. Is it that those who want to invest don't have faith in us, or they just don't believe in it?
We have to be honest with ourselves. The cost of doing business in Nigeria is huge. It is humongous. Let me tell you this. My company, we actually had a call Sport Plus. The station was on air for a few months, and then we had an unfortunate fire incident. But when you look at the cost, you know, sports is different. When you look at the cost of acquiring sports rights, you know, when you look at the cost of production, when you look at the overhead costs in Nigeria, you must have deep pockets to go into sports media, television. It's very, very, you must have very, very deep pockets. It's very simple. If you are not ready for the long haul, if you're not ready for like a 5 or 10 year plan before you start making profit, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Because, I mean, I know somebody who tried to get basic rights to football footage for his TV station in the last few days. And the cost of him buying rights alone, we're not talking of transmission cost now. The cost of purchasing rights for 3 or 4 football leagues for a terrestrial station was almost $1 million. For him to have rights to Premier League, one match in Premier League, one match in Serie A, one match in La Liga, and then highlights for one season. it was almost $1 million. $1 million is like 500 million naira. By the time you add the costs of production to it and the cost of him running the station, where is he going to make his money from? How is this sustainable? Is that cost transferable to sponsors? You know, so it's a very, very difficult thing to do. I know people who have tried, have consulted for one or two companies, but when you sit down and you put the figures on paper, the figures simply don't add up. And it's very difficult for investors to just be throwing their money in their basket. So, but the issue now is that online has created a lot of opportunities. You can do a lot of stuff online. But like I always like to say, sports is not entertainment. Sports is, you need to pay for any footage you acquire. I mean, you use. Even if you try to do, even if it's archival material, you need to pay for somebody who owns the rights to those materials. And these costs are not cheap. And it's very, very difficult to see how you can make a profit at the end of the line. If that is not very, very clear, a lot of people will not. There have been opportunities, but when people sit down and look at the figures and look at the costs, more often than not, they'll tell you, I've been there. I've been involved in a couple of presentations. And even I have to admit the figures didn't add up.
Even in Ghana, because I know you're also very used to, you also have of course, you have some commitments in Ghana. And I wonder, it's happening in Ghana, like you said, maybe it's the cost. It's something that is very dear to you and I think we should look at it, we should keep the conversation going really, because I see Ghanaians also doing it.
We are. It's definitely a huge vacuum. I agree with you. But, you know, we go back in time, you will see that there was a Nigerian cable station that was running for a while. But at some point, the figures became unsustainable. The cost of buying these rights has gone up in the air. It's stratospheric. It's crazy. I'll tell you, one man I'm telling you about something that happened the last 2-3 days ago. $300,000 to have the rights to one Premier League match and the highlights every season. And that is only the Premier League. And it's only one match. $300,000. By the time we try to add Premier League, La Liga and Serie A to it, the cost was going to $1 million to have rights to one match a week for the leagues, not just one match. And then, of course, the highlights. How much content can one match a week give you? You understand? So how many times are you going to repeat that one match? How many times are you going to repeat the 1 hour highlights? You have 24 hours to fill. Then that means you have to, if you extrapolate the cost to trying to get rights from other sports, you are talking about millions of dollars. That goes into billions of naira. Where are you going to recoup your cost? Is it a subscription model? Is it a commercial or sponsorship model? My brother, it's very tough. It's the nature of our country, but we keep trying to find solutions because there's a huge vacuum. And there's a model now that we're talking about online, we're talking about maybe you have an app, people can subscribe to the app, all kinds of possibilities. But the cost of acquiring sports rights makes it very, very difficult because those costs, and then the competition for the cost is global. Exactly. So you must have deep, deep pockets. And you know, when you consider the fact that, and let's be honest, our naira has gone aground. So that means that if you are going to, because you're earning naira and you're converting that naira to dollars exactly, to purchase this right, it becomes a humongous cost that is very difficult to manage. That's the truth. That's the simple truth.
All right. Deji, before I let you go, let's just quickly look at Tokyo 2020, Nigeria athlete sponsorship model. We've seen this time around, we've seen the Ministry of Youth and Sports employ a model of, talking to individuals and, a few corporate bodies. Is it sustainable, this model that is the Ministry of Youth and Sports is employing?
To be fair to them, at least they tried something. Before now, I can't recall any minister or any previous administration trying something. The minister tried to adopt an athlete's model, and I think it worked for a few athletes. I think a company adopted Adekuroye a couple of years ago, I think, to build up to the Olympics. And some states have given grants to athletes of the athletes that come from their states. I think Lagos and Edo State. You and I know that it's a bit late in the day, but at least it's something for the athlete to be able to prepare adequately, even though it's very close to the Olympics. So the model of trying to adopt is there. At least, like I said, they tried something. I think that as a people, as a body, we do not engage, to be fair to the private sector, we do not engage them enough with proper value propositions.
Exactly.
To say, look at the basketball team. Look at how well they've done the past few days. Like the male and the female teams are going to the Olympics. I'm not sure they have a corporate sponsor from Nigeria. You know, but I don't know how well the corporate world has been engaged with. Because basketball is, for now, okay, we know basketball is growing. What propositions have we put to the private sector to say basketball is the next big thing, probably in the next 3 to 4, 5 years, can partner with us and all of that? We have a lot of work to do on the marketing side. And that's part of the reason why this training is important. Because you're taught how to package your products and how to present it for sponsorship with the proper value propositions that sponsors need to hear. Because sponsors are not just going to throw money away. They have boards that they have to go and defend whatever money they spend. And you have to put value proposition ahead on the table for them to understand that we are spending this money, this is what I'm getting. Not necessarily in terms of naira and kobo, but in terms of corporate goodwill. You know? So it's very, very important. We'll keep doing what we're trying to do. But you have to say that the funding models, we have to find better ways. We have to, like I said at the top, we have to engage the private sector. The money has to come from there. Because no government in the world can sponsor sports development, sports activities in their countries on their own. None. Without the involvement of sponsors from the private sector. It simply can't happen.
All right. Deji, it's always a delight talking to you. Thank you very much for bringing your wealth of knowledge on the show today. I must say, I'm very grateful.
Thank you for having me, Jide. Well done.
All right, thank you. That's Deji Amato is a sports media consultant and a veteran sports journalist as well, talking to us. And, sports marketing and management, how to drive Nigerian sports landscape, sports business landscapes to vibrant sports marketing and management. Okay, we'll go on a break, and when we come back, the program continues.
Fantastically finished.
All right, welcome back. It's still Sports Exchange, and let me quickly take you through some of the news gist that we have. Okay, the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has gone into a bilateral sports agreement with Italy's Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture to create opportunities for youth through sports. This agreement was sealed by the President of Italy-Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Mr. Silvano Bellianato, and the Vice President Olajide Ogodan during a meeting with the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Mr. Sunday Dare, in Abuja. The bilateral relationship will focus on establishment and support of existing academies, Italy-Nigeria football tournaments, exchange of players, training of coaches, referees, kits and equipment franchise. Disney-owned U.S. broadcaster ESPN will continue to broadcast the Wimbledon Tennis Grand Slam until 2025 after signing a 12-year extension. The new agreement with event organizers, the All England Lawn Tennis Club, commences in 2024 when ESPN's existing contract expires. Coverage will be available on the ESPN Plus streaming service from 2024. The over-the-top platform will also have exclusive live coverage of the qualifying rounds and access to all ancillary content produced by the AELTC, such as films, classic matches, highlight shows, and press conferences. In addition, the extension will see ESPN Deportes continue to provide Spanish-language coverage in the U.S. DAZN, the global digital sports media specialist, has announced the renewal of its exclusive Spanish broadcasting partnership with the Premier League for the 2022 to 2025 rights cycle. The extension of DAZN's current agreement kicks in at the end of the 2021-2022 campaign and covers more than 235 live matches per season. In addition to the live and on-demand Premier League coverage, DAZN's Premier League offering covers a range of content, documentaries, interviews, and original production. All right, that's it for the news that we are covering on the show today. And for those who want to reach out to us on the show, yes, we have our social media platforms. They're expecting your feedback. On Facebook, we are Sport Exchange 24. You can like our Facebook page, then reach out to us there. And on Twitter, we are at Sport Exchange 24. That's on Twitter. Keep following us. And for YouTube, we are TV360 Nigeria on YouTube, and you can like our face. No, you can subscribe. Yeah, it's better you subscribe to our TV channel on YouTube, TV360 Nigeria. And until I come your way next time, I'm yours truly today, tomorrow, and of the future in sports, Jide Olaniran. It's over and I'm out.